What is going on, you guys? You know what this is. You see the title. You can see my face. I'm happy. I'm happy. I'm happy. Um, Janet Jackson, Unbreakable, the album. 7 years later, and my bitch is back. Okay, and I will be the first to admit that. I will be the first to admit that when I heard the album, it was nothing like I expected it to be. I thought it was gonna be classic Janet. Like Janet has this formula, like she will put an album with mostly up tempos, and then she'll put a few, slow songs on there. Then you have some sexy songs up in there, and some songs that she purely just talking about fucking the shit out of somebody, and her expertise, that her mouth action and all this stuff, and I will be honest and say that she didn't give me that, and I'm kind of glad that she didn't give me all of that. Like, she did it in a grown up way, because when you think about it, it's like you can't be on here singing about the same damn thing on each and every album. That means that you have yet to evolve and you have yet to grow. And this album is definitely the Janet album that showed her growth. Okay, and I mean growth in damn near everything, even in the fucking voice. Because y'all know, to be honest, I'm here for Janet, and y'all know. But I'll be the first one to tell you, Janet is nobody's real singer. Okay, I'm saying, but Janet can hold a tune, but she's not like a singer. And that bitch will whisper on the track in a minute. Okay, we were sitting here like, girl, I don't know what you're saying, but it sounds good. This time I don't know what was going on. The voice seems a little bit fuller. She opening up her mouth and enunciating, pronouncing these words, and we hear them clearly. Even on a couple of songs, you probably be like, "Bitch, what?" And you go back and listen, you be like, "Oh, that's what you said. Okay, I get it." She was giving me that, and I was very much here for this. It, like I said, it's a very grown up album, and I can understand if uh, some of the people who probably younger generation, this current generation, probably in the teens or early 20s to mid 20s or whatever, who don't really probably was expecting something different and be like, girl, and the album wasn't, it was okay. Now this ain't, I ain't really feeling it. I can get that because they don't understand that this is some grown ass shit. All right. But everybody's not going to be as excited as I am. But, that's understandable. And I'm just saying, for my opinion, this was a solid, well put together album. It was 19 songs. 3 of those songs is No Sleep, and No Sleep was released as the first single. It was very sensual, and it was, classy, sexy. She just wasn't throwing it all out there. That bitch, I'ma fuck the shit out of you when you get home, because you've been gone for a long ass time, and Kitty is purring, all right, and I just need some. She just did it in a classy way, and then she put J. Cole on the official track, and he just woke it up a little bit more. And I like that. And then it's a remix to it, like a dance remix or something at the end. Um, if you did the pre-order automatically came with the Unbreakable song, and that was the first song that opened up the album. And Unbreakable was like the introduction. I think it fit, and if you ask me, I would have made, because the way that it was just like let me get my thoughts together. Unbreakable was just telling you, like, I heard you. I'm back. Listen to this body of work. Thank you for being there for me, still sticking it out with me. Thank you for wanting me to, come back and bless you with some more stuff and all this. Still want to hear me. That's what it was giving me. And it was like a thank you at the beginning, and I feel like that it should have ended with, like, this should have opened up and been like Unbreakable Part 1, and then ended with Unbreakable Part 2, a closing. Like, it just didn't feel like the song was finished, and it felt like she was gonna finish it at the end of the album. That's what it felt like to me. But it was nice. I liked it. And then we goes into Burn It Up featuring Missy, Kitty Cat Meow Meow Meow. That is my shit. I had to listen to it twice to get into it, but it gives me so much of a Vogan type of feel. Like, I can see them, because y'all know Janet is, here for the gays and everything. And I'm just, I can see a video of them like doing some voguing stuff, incorporating some voguing dance moves, or her performing it on stage and having them do the moves and stuff. And then we get to, and I just love when Missy gets on the track with anybody, because for some reason Missy is one of those producers that can come through for anybody. Like, she meshes well with damn near everybody that she gets on the track with, that she produces with. And Janet is one of those. Another person that she do well with is Monica too. And that, we're not even gonna go there. We're not even gonna go there, cause who the fuck knows when Monica coming out? I'm waiting, but girl, who the fuck knows? And you know, um, after that, I don't feel like, I don't want to go track by track, but because I'm trying to calm myself down. Let me hold on. After that, we get Damn Baby. I need to hear me. Look, Janice is almost 50 years old, and she still has that come fuck me voice, okay? And I'm just like, that's never going to really change, and I'm so glad. But damn, baby, baby, I love that part. I just love it. And, like, Burn It Up is basically talking about, just being in the club and we going on. And Damn Baby is similar to that, but it actually, if you listen to it, it has a message in it, okay? You just gotta listen, enjoy life and do this and you gotta do that. And I was like, okay, girl, and Janet, that's her thing. Janet will put out an album, and damn near every album that she put out, she makes sure that there is a message on there, you know damn near every album. Okay, there is a social message on there, and I love it. And she did not shy away from that. Okay, sometimes we think that these artists and entertainers are not paying attention to the things that's going on, and then we hear that music and we're like, okay, you have been listening. Janet is one of those people, and Janet has been very active in a lot of the social issues that's been going on. You may not see her on, especially like during the Black Lives Matter and all this stuff that's been going on, tweeting about that, but because Janet, I honestly don't feel like Janet be tweeting. Most of the time when it say Janet team, I know that's Janet's team, and these other tweets too, I feel like it's still her team too, but she's always tried to be out there in the press, and especially early on in her career, when she came out with the Rhythm Nation, and she just kept on going. Rhythm Nation, talking about the social injustice that we face, especially in the Black community: poverty, homelessness, you know, gay issues, HIV, and that was on the Velvet Rope too, and the Janet album, and domestic violence, and gun violence, and racism and bigotry and prejudice, and stuff like that. She's always spoken about that, and she's did that on this album in a few of her songs too. You just have to listen to it, and the beat may bring you in, but then you go back and you listen to the lyrics and you're like, okay. And one of those songs that does that is Black Eagle. It's song number 15 on the album, but in my honest opinion, I love Damn Baby, and Black Eagle just takes the album away. That song's just, I feel like Kevin, y'all saw Kevin review for the album. Kevin was about to cry. Kevin was, y'all know how he be choking up. It was so cute though. It was so cute. It was so fucking passionate. I understand. Let me go back, because Black Eagle, like I said, Black Eagle was just basically, ugh, it's just this deep ass song. What brought me in and took me was the melody of the song, and then the way that it dun 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 dun. You'll never know. I love that shit. And then the second verse is just talking about the injustice that's going on. We need to come together. How would you feel if somebody did this to you and all this stuff? And I said, come on, Janet, with this fucking message. Yes, be into this shit, the social shit. She see what's going on. Okay, you cannot ignore this bullshit. And that's like my favorite out the album. Another favorite of mine, or another one that I like Gonna Be Alright, because it gives me that 70s feel of when a lot of the artists went to that Philadelphia sound back in the 70s and shit, with the Gamble and Huffs, and then you had the Motown sound, and then, the Stevie Wonder type stuff, and then the big bands and the instruments, when they had the live instruments playing in the studio, when they was actually recording the song, and that's what it was giving me, and it just sounded like she was just having so much fun on it. and well traveled, basically talking about, the things that she's seen and the places that she's been and how she's grateful and things of that matter. I love that. And the great forever comes right after Damn Baby. And it's a funky little, it gives me a Michael Jackson feel. And also, Gonna Be Alright gives you this Jackson 5, Jackson slash Michael feel too. And the song Dream Maker and Euphoria, that gives you a Michael Jackson feel too. And I believe that it was sampled from one of his old songs too. And I was just here for it. It just funky with it, funky. And The Great Forever also gives you that little 80s type feel. And it's cute. Um, after you fall, after you fall, after you come up and you bring your ass back and you like, hey y'all, I'm here with Unbreakable. Okay, so I'm here. Now that I'm here, we gonna burn this bitch up. So we finna get on the dance floor and we finna burn it up with Missy. And then I'm finna be like, damn, baby, damn. Finna get into it. And then I'm finna get my great forever. I'm searching for whatever it is that I want. That's gonna be my great forever. And then, shoulda known better, coming in and then we gonna slow this shit all the fucking way down, and we're gonna let y'all think, and I'm gonna break you down into some tears after you fall. After you fall, who's gonna be there to pick you up? That's basically what it was, And to me, it felt like, because the next song right after that, it picks the album up just a little bit more from After You Fall, was Broken Hearts Heal. After You Fall was basically, to me, it felt like, when she was going through it initially, how she was feeling the pain and the sorrow and the hurt and probably depression from when her brother passed away, that initial feeling. And then Broken Hearts Heal, it picks it up a little bit, and the way that the beat picks it up, it's still talking about that pain and that hurt and reminiscing on their childhood and how they were together, but it's just saying that even though my heart was broken and I'm sad that you're gone, I'm going to be all right. And I'm getting back on the right track. And I'm trying to find my happiness. And I'm not going to let this, stop me, because I know that's not what you want. I was like, go ahead, Janet. I mean, I just figured that out right about now. Just put those two together. That's my interpretation of it. Y'all might have different. So, it is what it is. I like to hear it, what y'all feel. And, yeah. To Be Loved, I like the upbeat of that. And, lesson learned kind of give you like what about the time they did to me, what about all the didn't want me, what about those things, what about that from Velvet Rope, okay? Because it's basically talking about a fucked up relationship. That's what it is. Lesson learned, you know um but yeah, that's basically the stuff that I want to talk about. I didn't really want to go track by track. I want to hear what your favorite songs are. Like I said, I like Burn It Up. I really like Damn Baby. And I fucking love Black Eagle. That is my favorite song on the album. My absolute favorite song on the album. Because of the melody, because of the production, and mostly because of the message of the song. It's deep. Okay, it is what it is. And my overall thing is, with this comeback, I just love it. And because it's such a different Janet. She's working with a different sound, but it's still classic Janet. And I appreciate the fact that she came back and it was a very much age appropriate album for her. She didn't come back trying to be so overly sexual, trying to, talk about or be like the trends that's going on and try to get a commercialized hit and all that stuff. And it's clear that she did not put this album out on her own label, might I add. Okay, she did the shit on her own label. As an imprint of BMG record label, main label. She has her own label, and she didn't put this album out looking for chart success. She didn't put this album out like trying to make the best album so that it can sell the best and everybody can eat it up and buy it. No, she put this album out, and if you listen to it, it's strictly from her, mostly for her day one fans. It's strictly for the fans that been missing her, that's always been supporting her. And just to let us know that, I hear you and I'm gonna give you something. I ain't going nowhere. I'm still here, and I love that. I love that she's not trying to impress anybody. Like, come on, you gotta go look at, for you young people that don't know, okay? You can talk about chart sales and album sales and all this stuff. Oh, she ain't gonna sell. She ain't gonna do this. It ain't about that, because Janet did all of that already in her career early on. Okay, she didn't. Janet is legendary. Janet is an icon. Okay, she didn't even have to come back with this album at all. Okay, Janet sitting on top of her billions and stuff could have just chilled out. Okay, but she did this because she wanted to do that and she wanted to please her fans. And I appreciate it. And I think she missed it too. I think she really do miss being out there performing. That's what I feel like. Um, and it's tastefully done. She's a married woman, okay, and I think her husband is a Muslim or whatever. But I think especially given the way that she's doing her tours now, and she's fully covered up. Like, she's fully covered up and still giving it to you. From what I've seen on a couple clips, I fucked around and looked at some clips. I'm sorry, I didn't want to do it, but just like a couple of 15-second clips I looked at. But she is like a respect thing to her husband, and she's like, I'm still gonna be me, but I'm gonna do it tastefully, and I'm gonna respect it, and it's just, I just love it. I just like it, because this album is classic Janet. It's like a mixture of all her eras together. If you really sit down and listen to it, it's a mixture of damn near every era that she had, and I fucking love and damn baby. Damn baby, when she was singing that first verse, and before we get to the end and the middle, now for the breakdown. And then let's break it down, break it down. And I was like, no, you're not trying to really sing that, bitch. Okay, she gave us, I guess, a lonely in the middle of it. I said, yes, you sampled your own shit on your new shit. Come on now. Come on. But as you can see, I'm satisfied. I'm satisfied with this product. You know, um, it was a well put together album, if you ask me. It was well put together. I love the production on it and everything. Y'all tell me how you feel about it. I just knew it was gonna be something good because she got back with Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, and she went to the foundation who knew how to work her voice, who knows her best. Okay, and they put out some quality shit, and I am very much here for it. And it's been on repeat nonstop, and I just love it, and I'm so happy, and I'm happy for Janet. I really am. I cannot wait to go see her November 4th. Okay, I'm still finna get them tickets for June 4th, because y'all know I said I had to see her in a stadium, like in an arena. Okay, yes, I need to get that big concert feel. But I'm happy. I got my physical copy, and I don't even go out and get physical copies for nobody. I got my physical copy. I got the digital copy. Child, listen, I got everything Janet, okay? Y'all just don't know. Okay, let me just put it out there. I don't stand for nobody. But the way that I reacted when I heard this shit was coming out, and then when it solidified it for me when I went off in that video a couple of days ago when I got that notification that the pre-order was ready. I stand for fucking Janet, okay? There, I said it. I fucking said it. It is what it is. Who can blame me? But I hope y'all give it a listen. If you don't like the whole thing, at least buy the ones that you do like or whatever, but at least just give it a chance. And it is what it is. Tell me how you feel about it, and I'll see y'all later. Tell me y'all interpretations of some of them songs, especially, and tell me your favorites if you got it, if you listen to it, some of your favorites, and I'll talk to y'all later. Peace. Have a good one.